this video, I'll be walking you through expense entry settings. Click on Expense and Settings. So we have the expense label. This is how your users will view the term expense throughout the TimeSolve system. You can choose what suits your business needs from cost, disbursement, or expense, which is the default. And then we have the expense entry lockout. So allow entries for all dates means that there is no restriction for expense entry dates for all users. And then there is allow entries on or after the date, which means a non-admin user can only add or update expense entries on or after the date of specified settings. By default, the past or future days will show as 0. And then we have allow entries during rolling period. So this means a non-admin user can only add or update the expense entry if the date is within the range of allowed days. So that is to say, if the date of the expense entry is prior to the number of allowed past days or after the number of allowed future days. So for example, just to show you, if I click on this, you can see that this is the date fields pulled up here, and then we have this where it shows you the days in the past and the days in the future field, which you can specify. And then we have prompt for delete confirmation. So a pop-up message will ask for confirmation before a expense entry is deleted. If this is not enabled, there will be no warning message before deleting an expense entry, and there is no way of recovering an accidental deletion. And then we have expense tax rate percentage. This is not considered for fixed fee expense matters. And then we have enable recurring expense. So these are set up under expense and recurring expenses over here, if you have it enabled. And then we have enable expense approvals by matter. Matter approvals will always supersede any timekeeper approvals. And then we have enable expense approvals by the timekeeper. Please refer to our approval videos for more information on how to set this up after you've enabled it from under here, if you do wish to set up an approval system for your firm. And then we have automatically submit expense entries for approval. So again, if you have an approval system that you want to set up and you don't want the users to individually submit each entry for approval each time that they are creating any entries, then you can select this checkbox and we'll send the entry over to the approver whenever they have just saved the entry. And then we have notify approvers via email. So an email notification will be sent out to an approver at midnight and then at 8 a.m. the next day to notify them that there are approvals waiting for them. An approver will not be inundated with emails for each and every time entered. If this box is unchecked, it is up to the approver to log in and check if there is any expense entry waiting to be approved. And then we have a set expense entry description. So this populates the narrative or description field of the selected expense code on an expense entry. And then we have clear quantity and description on save and duplicate. So this means that when a user clicks on save and duplicate button on the expense entry screen, this will blank out the fields for quantity, price per unit, markup percentage, description field, and the receipt.